to Adam. This would be a blow to Athenian pride. They were sourced in the same original creation as everyone else. One purpose of this creation was to populate the planet. This sovereign God has omnipotently decreed the history and boundaries for the nations. Greece was not the only nation on earth. One of God's purposes in revealing himself in creation and history is that people would seek him. Though sovereign, he is also immanent and not so far removed that he cannot be found. To buttress his point, Paul apparently quoted from Epimenides, the Cretan poet. For in him we live and move and have our being. Also, Paul quoted the poet Aratus from Paul's homeland, Cilicia. We are his offspring. This second quotation was from Aratus's work, Phaenomena. All people, Athenians along with all others, are God's offspring, not in the sense that they are all his redeemed children, or in the sense that they all possess an element of deity, but in the sense that they are created by God and receive their very life and breath from him. The Athenians very creation and continued existence dependent on this one God whom they did not know. No such claim could ever be made of any of the scores of false little g gods worshipped by the Greeks. And so, ladies and gentlemen, with that introduction, sadly, much of the news, even today, all morning long, all day yesterday, all night last night, all afternoon on Sunday, we read and hear and see today comes to us through a filter of race and racism. And obviously it does not matter if the president is black or white. An altercation reported one way by the media takes on a new tone once the races of those involved are revealed. I would venture to say, since I'm very familiar with the news, the news gathering process and all of that, I would venture to say every day 30% of the news, at least 30% of the news deals with race. Sadly. In fact, I believe that most newspapers would shut down if they didn't have to have race to report about. Sometimes it appears that the story changes entirely based upon race. We have had protests, marches, rallies, and yes, race riots in the 21st century, not just the 20th century. Why are we still struggling with this question of race even after a two-term black president. And I'm going to say something that black folk are not going to like and white folk are not going to like. Oftentimes, it is the black president or the white president who keeps up racism and prejudice going on in the country, because that's their ticket to win. It's all politics. And that's why I said yesterday, and I'm going to say it again today, the church of the Lord Jesus Christ needs to unhitch itself from politics as well, because it's a racket. It's an evil, wicked, worldly racket, and Christians ought not to get themselves caught up in it. Pray for the president, pray for your representatives, vote if that's what you want to do, but aligning yourself with any politician is an exercise in foolishness. The black preachers did it for Obama, and look what we got. Now the white preachers are doing it, and look what we're getting. The same old, same old. And it's going to be that way far into the future until the church becomes the church again. We don't need to be buddy-buddy with the preacher so that we can be, with the president, so that we can go to the White House dinner, Christmas party, or whatever. We need to be a prophet to the president and tell the president, thus saith the Lord. And this racism, foolishness, and dog whistling and all of that, they need to cut it out. And I'm talking about the black president and the white president. We have folks now trying to tell President Trump that he ought to heal the racial divide in this country. And I said already a couple of years ago, if a black president who was mixed, who is mixed, has a white mother and a black father, if he can't heal America's race problem, then you cannot look for President Trump to do it. Now, should they continue to feed the fire? No. But they will, because it is what gets the votes for the black president and the white president. And that's why Christians need to step aside and, in the words of Tony Evans, become the referee. And I don't care if you like it, whether you're black or white. Our job is to be the prophet, to be the Nathan to the president, not to align ourselves with the president or the government, to pray for them and to tell them when they're wrong, to encourage them when they're right. Be that as it may, it is because largely, until recently, we even those of us in the church, have not begun to deal with the issue of race from a spiritual perspective. As Dr. Tony Evans told the church, the black church and the white church, and all churches, and this nation, many years ago, and he's done it repeatedly in different forms: radio, television, books, preaching, and we have not listened. Another hot summer is upon us, and we are not saved. And black folk and white folk have lost their souls.